Gotta click a few buttons here. All right. There we go. All right, boom. Cool beans. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you again for joining me this evening. My name is Will Johnson. UniteAmericaFirst.com is the website. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor. If you hadn't already, hit the share button on this video. Hit the share button. You know, did any of y'all ask for any of this? I mean, just think about it. I mean, things were really nice before. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think anyone in their right mind asked for any of this stupid stuff that we're seeing right now. No one asked for any of this. Everybody, a lot of people would love for it to go back to the way it was. I mean, just, 4 years ago, I think everybody would be happy going back to that, Seriously, 2018, 2019, people were a lot happier on both sides of this. Well, you can't say that for the left, because the left, they're never happy. Even when they do certain things to get what they want, they're still not happy. They are never, ever happy. But I'm going to share some stuff with you tonight. And, of course, I got stuff to share with you. But no one, no one in their right mind asked for any of this. No one did. But it's happening. It is happening right now. And let me say this too before I get started. There's this one. So I put this post out there, and this lady made a comment on there saying, "Why would I like his page?" Talking about my page, and she said he's talking about doom and gloom, and she calls herself a Christian. Right? She calls herself a Christian. Now, I'm not saying that we need to harp on doom and gloom, because there's positive things that are happening, right? I list off positive things that were happening when President Trump was in office. Did it all the time. I had people attack me all the time because I was listing off positive things that were happening. When President Trump was in office, more black people were working. That's a positive thing. More Hispanics were working. It's a positive thing. We were energy independent. That is a positive thing. I mean, the list goes on when President Trump was in office, all of the wonderful things that he was doing for the nation, right? Just like, for example, him not taking a paycheck. That was a positive thing. But what can you talk about that's positive today? See, some people, like this young lady, she wanted me to not inform anybody of the stuff that's going down today in our world. She wanted me to be silent about it. She doesn't want me to talk about it. She wants me to just tell everybody, hey, don't worry about it. Just, stay on your couch, stay in the home, and just, do whatever it is. Don't even pay attention to what's going on. It's okay. She literally wanted me to say that. She literally wanted me to say, you know what, God, because God wins in the end. Don't even worry about all this other stuff is going on. Just be there. Just coexist. Don't even worry about it. Don't even try to do anything to protect your children. Don't worry about that. Don't do anything to protect your life, the thing that God gave you. Don't worry about that. That's exactly how she was coming at me. And I'm like, this is interesting. See, the reason why I say what I say and the stuff that I report on is because no one in the past would do it. And I got tired of people not doing it. I got tired of people not saying what I was seeing. And now that I'm seeing and I'm bringing awareness to it, people getting upset with me. Seriously? Do you not pay attention what's going on? Even in the Bible, it tells us to pay attention, to know the season of the time. Now, of course, Jesus has won the battle. He wins in the end. But at the same time, he told us to endure until he returns, not be a lump on the log. There's a difference, not be a bag of rocks. There's a difference with some people doing. And so my goal is to wake people up. If you don't talk about this crazy stuff, then people will never know. And they'll just think that it's just completely normal. They'll think that it's completely fine. They'll be like, well, this is how it's supposed to be. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I'm not gonna go down that path. And I'm not gonna support that, just saying that this is the way it's supposed to be. I'm not the one. I know that I have freedoms. They want to take my freedoms away. I know that the United States of America is still the greatest nation on the planet, and they want to try to convince me and you that America is racist when it's not. They want to convince me and you that America is the worst nation on the planet when it's not. They want to convince me of all of these things, but yet all of them remain here in America, and then you still have people that talk bad about America, want to get to America. Either they want to get to America because they love the freedoms, or they want to get to America because they want to destroy it. Either way, they want to get to America. Think about it. And then we have the Democrats here in America. They want to destroy America and create their liberal, demonic utopia. Nobody asked for any of this. Most people just want to live their lives, worship their God, right? Here in America, you can worship your God, whatever it is, but that's here in America. But people want to be left alone and do things. Seriously, people want to have hobbies. People don't want to go through all this crazy stuff. Let me give you an example of something that's crazy that's happening right now here in the United States of America, and that is in New York. You know New York City? You know New York City, right? The blue state of New York City, where they keep putting these communists in authority and position in New York. The mayor, the governor. I'm kind of wondering, what about the police chief? I'm just wondering. The reason being is because I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but they have thousands of police officers leaving. I think it was like maybe 1,500 or something like that. That's still a lot. Over 1,000 police officers leave the police force, just retire early, getting out. But it's not just in New York. It's happening across the nation because we have people that have this anti-God, anti-American, anti-authority, law and authority. They have this anti-cop, defund the police officer mentality. And these people are in charge. These people are in charge doing this. But they still have all the security that they need. Look at Mayor Beetlejuice in Chicago. She still has all the security that she needs, armed security. But now in New York City, with all of the crime that is taking place, the crime is going through the roof. And they're still having people leave the police department, and they're saying that they want to replace them, but no one is like really signing up. It's difficult. It's like taking them over a year. It takes them a year plus to get someone to fill the position, but these people are leaving at an alarming rate. Listen to this.
The city's police union says not only is this drop in officers on the streets in New York City alarming, but it's also a major threat to public safety as crime continues to rise. Take a look there on your screen. Those are the new numbers coming out over the weekend from the New York Post. More than 1,500 NYPD officers have either resigned or retired just this year. Those numbers are up 38% compared to data from 2021, and it puts the department on track to have the biggest loss of manpower in decades. The NYPD shared much lower numbers with us over the weekend, but still tells Fox News at least 1,000 officers have left the NYPD just this year. Law enforcement experts tell us that the difference is because many officers who have retired are not yet officially off of the roster. So the question is, Bill, why are these officers leaving in the first place? Well, the Police Benevolent Association of the City of New York points to low pay, inferior benefits, and an anti-cop atmosphere. According to one former NYPD police officer, at this rate, it could take years to fully refill those spots that are now open.
Take years to fill those spots. And you know what? It's all by design. So in one hand, they're trying to disarm the American people. Listen what I'm telling you here. In one hand, they're trying to disarm the American people. In the other one, they're trying to defund and remove police officers. So what do you think is going to happen when they remove all of these good cops? What do you think is going to happen? The same thing like in Michigan, right? Well, police officers aren't leaving that. I'm pretty sure some police officers are leaving, but they have gone through their fuel allowance, right? So the police department, they get X amount of dollars so they can spend on fuel. They don't have any more. They're completely out. It's gone. Nada, zip, just gone. I've talked about it. I've even played the clip where they're talking about it. So what happens when a burglar comes to your door, knocking on your door and saying, hey, burglar's not going to knock on your door. They're just going to break in, or they're going to come through the side window, and you get on the telephone, call 911, and they say, oh, sorry. Yeah, we don't have any gas to get to you. Gas is going through the roof throughout the entire nation. And it's by design. They've been pushing this from day one. When the Biden administration came into office, he's been pushing this. Actually, before that, during the debates, on there talking about, well, you know what, we want to get rid of all of the, he want to get rid of all the oil. And he said he's willing to do it even if it hurts the American people. And people still support him even today, even after they go to the gas pump, which is mind-blowing to me. They go to the gas pump after $100 later, and they're still like, oh, well, Joe is on top of it. He's working it out. It's going to be more next week. I don't know how many times I have to you know what? I actually I'm kicking myself right now. Trust me, I am literally kicking myself because I did not take a screenshot or capture the website when they actually had it on the World Economic Forum, when they said their idea was to tear down the world economies and build it back better. They've since removed that. And I'm kicking myself because I didn't record it. And I'm thinking maybe I did record it. I just don't remember where I put it. But the point is, we're seeing it happen. And they don't hide the fact that's what they want to do, because Biden is being controlled by them. That's what all this is about. Why do you think the gas prices are so high? Let me ask you this. Well, they say it's Putin's fault. I mean, come on. It's not Putin's fault. It's Biden. It's the Democrats. If it was Putin's fault, then how come we didn't have these high gas prices when President Trump was in office? Right? They're trying to say, they're trying to say, well, because he went to war with Ukraine. That's the reason why the gas prices are up. Well, why were the gas prices up before he went to war with Ukraine? Why were we seeing issues in the supermarket, in the grocery stores with different products going up before the war? Why was all of this stuff going up beforehand? All of this going up because of what the Democrats have been doing. It's just common sense here. Listen to this. This was during the debates. Listen, because Joe Brandon literally says that, yeah, you know what? If we destroy jobs, destroy the American people to get what we want with this whole stinking New Deal, then so be it. Pretty much. Listen.
3 consecutive American presidents have enjoyed stints of explosive economic growth due to a boom in oil and natural gas production. As president, would you be willing to sacrifice some of that growth, even knowing potentially that it could displace thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of blue-collar workers in the interest of transitioning to that greener economy?
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. I mean, seriously, the answer is just yes. Just yes. I mean, I told you. I mean, y'all had to have known about this, right? Or well, maybe some people didn't, because some people can't stand to watch this dude. I had no idea that he said that. Everything that we're seeing that's taking place in America right now with the inflation, the gas prices, he basically said he was going to cause this to happen. He told his base, he told the left that this was going to happen.
It's $7.29 a gallon for a small car with a 12-gallon tank. It would cost you $87 to fill it all the way up.
Number one, no more subsidies for fossil fuel industry. No more drilling on federal lands. No more drilling, including offshore. No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Ends.
Gas prices are so high, the Isabella County Sheriff's Office here says they've actually blown through their fuel budget already, so they will respond to some non-emergency calls by phone.
I've never seen anything like Putin's tax on both food and gas.
Putin's tax on food and gas. So how long has Putin been controlling America? How long? Since 2020? I mean, seriously, what in the world does Putin have to do with America? The gas price here, when we were energy independent under President Trump. What does that got to do with anything? I mean, it's like I'm just sitting there saying this stuff, and it's like, am I actually saying it? It's remarkable. And then we have the baby formula. You know, the baby formula, you know, they hadn't talked about the baby formula in a while here in the last couple of days, right? There's still an issue with the baby formula. There's still an issue. The baby formula on the shelves across the nation, they're still lacking. They're still lacking. And again, they brought the baby formula in, they flew them in on the planes, and then Jill Biden went there and did a photo op with it and said, they purposely had the formula on the cargo plane, and it had it stuck right there mid-air so that she can talk while the baby formula was right behind her while she's talking. For a photo op. And I'm saying, you know, and I brought this point up. They bring this baby formula into the nation. Well, how much baby formula are they going to bring in? Because they bring in 2 plane loads, then that's it. That's not gonna do anything. That's not gonna even, you know, sustain a day in America. There's a lot of babies in America. Listen to what the press secretary says about the baby formula when she was asked a question. She's way out of her depth. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's unbelievable. Check it out.
So I have 2 questions on baby formula. So first, what is the latest update the White House has received on the current infant formula situation across the country?
Yeah, let me see if I have anything new for you on that. I think it's been a couple of days since we have been asked that question.
Well, let's see. What do you have? Looking.
I don't have anything new. I know we made some announcements last week. I just don't have them in front of me.
She don't have them in front of her. So if she doesn't have them in front of her, she can't even say anything on it. I mean, what is she doing all day then? These are things that's affecting the American people, right? Baby formula, they caused this crisis. They should have the answers for it every single day, no matter what. So what is she doing? Maybe she's spending time, you know what? Maybe because it's that time of the year. I almost said that time of the month, but it's that time of the year. And because that time of the year, maybe she was out at the parades this past weekend. You know, because it's the entire month. So every weekend they're going to go out and do their thing. So that's probably what she was doing. So she didn't have no time to look at no baby formula numbers. She don't care. In her current marriage, she's not going to be able to produce any children. So why should she care about baby formula? Right? Is someone saying that she can produce children in her marriage? If she sticks with her partner, absolutely not. If she goes outside, of course. But why in the world would she be concerned about baby formula? She's not. She's not concerned about baby formula at all. Just like I have something else I want to share with you here. Did y'all know that women products are lacking as well? And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm saying, well, maybe the Biden administration got them to stop producing these products. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking here out loud. Maybe the Biden administration got them to stop producing these products because they can't even identify a woman. And maybe that they have it in their mind that they're replacing women with men that don't have cycles. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, because look how the Biden administration is doing. They're constantly elevating men that are dressing up like women. They're constantly doing it. I mean, they point people in that position for that. So, and they don't have a cycle. I mean, if they use one of these things, I can only imagine where they're putting it, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But women use these products. Actual, natural, beautiful women use these products. And just like the baby formula, we're having an issue with this. What is really going on?
Women are not only faced with a baby formula shortage, but now tampons are in short supply across the U.S. Reports of shortages in feminine hygiene products have been circulating. Tampons especially have become difficult to find. The brand missing the most on store shelves is Tampax. Its maker, Procter & Gamble, released a statement acknowledging that some consumers may currently be unable to find what they need. According to a spokesperson, the company is working with retailers and producing tampons around the clock to make sure shelves don't remain empty. And according to experts, the rising price of raw materials like cotton are part of the reason for the shortage and a spike in tampon and pad prices.
I mean, so if you're a lady, an actual lady, watching this broadcast right now, and you see this, now it may not be happening directly in your neck of the woods as of yet, and hopefully it doesn't ever come. But if it is happening in your neck of the woods and you see this, how do you feel? I mean, and the reason why I asked that question is because they're literally putting women secondary. That's exactly what they're doing. They're willing to elevate a man that wants to act like a woman above actual women. You can't tell me that they're not doing that when they have the Woman of the Year and it's an actual man. You can't tell me that when they have these men competing against females in sports for scholarships and et cetera, and they're giving the medals and the scholarships and rewards to the actual male that's acting like a woman. They're elevating men above women. You understand that? And I don't think most people look at it that way, but that's exactly what they're doing. How are they not doing that? You have someone who's playing pretend. They're literally playing pretend and they say, oh, this is so wonderful. It's so wonderful. It's not wonderful. There's something really seriously going on wrong with these people. And I sit there and look at this stuff and I'm like, you got to be kidding, right? You've got to be kidding. How did society get to this point? How did society get here? And do we plan on saying, you know what, enough is enough? Do we at some point say, you know what, we've got to stop this? We've got to stop this. All right, I want to show you something else here. I meant to have this pulled over before I got here. This one is, again, on the shortages that we have here. Now, this one is with McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy. And be honest with you, Kevin McCarthy is a straight up rhino. And again, just like Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, every now and then they'll say stuff they'll be like, oh yeah, you know what, that makes complete sense. But then they just flip and do the rhino thing. I don't understand that. They try to act like they have a backbone and a spine, but then they bend over to the Democrats. And it's like they only say certain things at certain times because they want people to vote for them. It's like these are Democrats that's saying stuff that people like the Republicans want to hear. Then Republicans vote for them, thinking that they're going to get something different. What's the whole expression? You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. What is that? Insanity? Listen to McCarthy.
Stop at the next gas station and take a picture of what gasoline costs. Then come back and ask that same question in 8 months. When you're paying more,
check the price of gasoline today and tell me where it is in a year. You could thank Joe Biden for that.
Go and look at what the price of oil is today and what you pay for in gasoline. I promise you, a year from now, the action of what this president has done has only increased it. The affordability is going to go through the roof.
Look what has happened in the short amount of time they've controlled all. Your gasoline price is up. Biden has created a crisis on the border. And your gas is going up. Remember, gas price today, national gas price, has not been this high since President Biden was vice president.
the policies of Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden are destroying this nation. We got gasoline lines. We got stations that have no gas. We got gasoline in Virginia at $7 a gallon.
6 months of Biden administration, we have the highest gas prices in 7 years.
After his policies caused gas prices to skyrocket, he said he would lower the gas price. He hasn't done it. He's even made it worse. And no, not the measly 2 cents the GCCC thinks is lowering it. It's a reduction. He depleted 50 million barrels of oil from our emergency supply and has done nothing to reverse this anti-American energy agenda that he has contributed to spike our costs.
You see? He says stuff like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. McCarthy making sense. But why does he continue to bend over backwards for the Democrats? Why does he continue to do that? Here, I got another one I want to share with you. This is Joe Brandon. I know you can't stand him, but bear with me. I know you can't stand him. I can't stand him either. But this is another one, a blast from the past. Listen to this.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated. No more drilling on federal lands. No more drilling, including offshore. No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. I guarantee you we're going to end fossil fuel.
What about, say, stopping fracking and stopping new pipeline infrastructure?
Exactly. No new fracking.
We are going to get rid of fossil fuels.
I've argued against any more oil drilling or gas drilling on federal lands.
No one's going to build a coal-fired plant again, and we're going to get rid of the ones we have now.
Have a transition from the oil industry, yes.
Would you be willing to sacrifice some of that growth, even knowing potentially that it could displace thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of blue-collar workers in the interest of transitioning to that greener economy?
The answer is yes.
All this stuff that's happening, he said he was going to do it. And here it is. It's happening right before our eyes. And you know what? Well, you know what's really interesting? A lot of Democrats are starting to distance themselves from Joe Brandon. A lot of them are saying, you know what? They're pushing away. They're pushing away. You don't believe me? Even the nut job AOC, she's even pushing herself away from Joe Brandon. Now, she doesn't come on there and say anything bad about him, but she was asked, will you endorse Joe Brandon? Listen to what she says.
You know, if the president chooses to run again in 2024, I mean, first of all, I'm focused on winning this majority right now and preserving a majority this year in 2022. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think if the president has a vision, then that's something certainly we're all willing to entertain and examine when the time comes.
So someone's asking her about you endorsing Joe Biden.
Yeah, you know, I think we should endorse when we get to it. But I believe that the president has been doing a very good job so far. And, you know, should he run again, I think that I think it's we'll take a look at it. But right now we need to focus on winning a majority instead of a presidential election.
Y'all hear this? So she won't even endorse him. Right? Is he doing that great of a job? Because if he was doing that great of a job, then why not just go ahead and endorse him? The issue is that Joe Brandon is losing his mind. He's losing his mind. They're starting to, Stacey Abrams did it when he went down to Georgia. When the devil went down to Georgia, Stacey Abrams wouldn't show up to talk to him. He went out of his way to call Stacey Abrams, and she's not even a politician. She's not a politician of any sort. But she has influence over stupid black people in Georgia. So he called her. You're still doing a good job for me. That's what he's telling her. But I need for you to show up. Why didn't she show up? AOC, all of them, they're starting to distance themselves because Joe Brandon is not doing a good job at all. He's making things a lot worse. A lot worse. And then our stock market is pretty bad right now. The stock market is getting a lot worse. You have liberal organizations right now saying that this time next year, that it's they said like in the first or the second quarter, I think they said by the second or the third quarter that the stock market and the inflation in America is going to be devastating. It's going to be devastating. You have liberal outlets saying this now. because Joe Brandon, what he's doing. And let me remind you, this is going into the end of this year. And see, I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to put it off until next year. So then that way they won't use it against the Democrats when it comes time to, go pull the lever. Because they want you to all to believe that they're there fighting for us, supporting us. Which brings me to another point, and I'm just going to talk about it. Over the weekend, while many of us were, working around the house, listening to music, going to the movies, going to the mall, going to church. I went to church. Just doing stuff over the weekend, not really paying attention to, all this crazy stuff going on, just unplugging. That's kind of pretty much what I did. I tried to, for the most part. Well, while all of us were trying to, disconnect for a little bit and just live our lives peacefully and not think about all this stupid stuff going on, 10 Republicans decided to side with the Democrats on gun control, taking our rights away. But the thing is, because they said they didn't do red flag laws at the federal level in this bill, that's supposed to be okay. So they're going to allow the states to do it. Right? They're going to allow the states to come up with their own red flag laws. And I thought it was kind of like that already, because you have Florida, which was kind of surprised me. I didn't even know about this. Florida has red flag laws already in place. Just like California, which I really already expected. The difference between California and Florida when it comes to the red flag laws, and just to be clear, I don't like any red flags at all. And I don't even necessarily think that you can call it a red flag law in Florida, but either way, it's still called that. In California, that they have teachers and social workers, just about anybody and everybody can say, hey, that's a Trump supporter. I don't like what he said or she said. Red flag law. And then you can't even confront your accuser saying this person is lying. Where's the proof of what they're saying? They just automatically come and disarm you. That's the way that they want it across the country. They want to implement what they're doing in California. Now in Florida, the only people who can exercise the red flag laws in Florida, to my understanding, are the police officers, the authority, which I can kind of understand, because if they get a call repeatedly going to someone's house and there's gun violence, or not even gun violence, just violence, and they know that they have a weapon there, then I think it's to the discretion of the police officers to disarm that situation. I kind of agree to that, because if you have progressive liberal thugs always fighting and going on, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not conservative Christians doing it. So yeah, disarm them, right? Disarm them, because that's the ones who's doing all of these crazy mass shootings in the first place, leftists. So disarm them. But see, that's not how they wanted to run. They want to do it on the federal level and implement the way they're doing it in California, that you can just be a God-fearing, freedom-loving, conservative Christian, and then they want to disarm you for those specific reasons. Because they feel you as a threat, because you're supporting white supremacy. And it's not even true. White supremacy. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of them saying that, right? But that's how they want to do the red flag laws. They constantly push it like that. And me personally, I'd say, where are these white supremacists at? Because I want to talk to them. I like to have a conversation, because I like to have conversation with people who disagree with me. I find them very interesting. Not that I don't talk to people who do agree with me, but it's just the ones who disagree. It makes it an interesting conversation. Let me just play this for you. Here, look at this.
The Fed chair, the Federal Reserve is independent. We leave them to make their own policy decisions. We do not get involved in that. And nothing has changed on how we see the stock market. That's not something that we keep an eye on every day. So I'm not going to comment about that from here.
President Biden once bragged about the stock market hitting record after record after record on my watch. How about now?
Meaning the stock market.
All the gains from President Biden's time in office have been wiped out.
So, as you know, we're watching closely.
So, in one hand, they don't watch the Federal Reserve. They don't watch any of that. They allow the Federal Reserve to do their own thing because they're independent. And for those of you that don't know, just because they have the name Federal Reserve in their name doesn't mean that they're part of the government, because they are not. They just have that name, Federal Reserve. I used to think that was part of the federal government, but they're not. So they give them complete reign to do whatever it is with the economy in the United States of America. Complete reign. And the founding fathers were against that, but they changed it. That's a whole nother story. And you see how this kind of threw that on you, because I wanted to, it's like the economy is so bad. It's so bad that most people never thought that United States of America would get to this point. But it's going to get worse. And I had a young lady call in last Friday, and she made a very good point, excellent point. Because on my website, you can go to my sponsors, or you can go to like preparewithuaf.com, preparewithuaf.com. It's in the ticker down below too. And, you know, they say that you should prepare for like 3 months, you know, because typically they said prepare for at least 3 months, because the idea is that if you prepare for 3 months, maybe something will happen, and then at least 3 months, things will start recover, come back. But she made a very valid point. You prepare, you prepare for how long you want to live. I said, that is profound. That is so profound. So you prepare for how long you want to live. And like, that's powerful. So I've had people in the past ask me, Will, what do we do? What do we do? And I say, you got those grandbabies and they got those big round eyes and they're looking up at you and they're hungry, and it's gonna hurt you more looking at them hungry because you have nothing for them. So I have on my website, UnitedAmericaFirst.com, click on the sponsors, and you can see on there, Patriot Supply. Patriot Supply. I'm telling you, you got to do it because things are getting worse. And the lawlessness that we're seeing goes right in hand. The gas prices are up. They're calling for the defunding of police officers. Police officers are quitting. I talked about police officers quitting over 6 months ago, and it's just happening at such an alarming rate. Before you know it, there's not going to be any police officers to stop any crime. And this is by design. I mean, look at this. So for those that are listening, this is in LA. You can see that the boardwalk right there. You can see the stars on the ground. And there's a vehicle, police vehicle, got 534 on the top of the hood, on the top of the vehicle here, the police vehicle. And there's a black dude just smashing the windows on it. Like this is normal. Like there's nothing going on wrong here. Just smashing the windows out, and people just standing there looking. Just watching it. Where the cops at? Nothing. Like it ain't nothing. And now he's reaching in. Now he's reaching into the police vehicle after he busted out all of the windows. And he pulls out the police officer's laptop. So, question. I'm hoping that it's secured, right? If it's not secured, he has access to the hard drive. What data is on that computer? What data is on there? Because they have data in the connection to the mainframe, to the server. What's on there? And he just walks away with it. And then in the background, you can see Darth Vader, Lord Vader. I guess because of Star Wars or whatever. I mean, I don't know what event this is, but Lord Vader's in the background, is walking around like it ain't nothing. Total lawlessness during the daytime. So where's the police officer? Where's the cop? Oh, it's a black male doing it. We can't do it because of Black Lives Matter. I saw that. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. How did we get here? How is this even happening? How is this even possible? You know why? Because we are in the last days. These people are calling evil things good. Have y'all seen the videos of the parade over this weekend? I mean, the only reason why I saw them because they have them out on Twitter. I mean, it's all over Twitter. I mean, seriously, it's like Twitter's so happy that they're doing it. It's like, you got to see it too. And some people go, well, that's part of the reason why I don't get on Twitter. But you know, me in my position, I have to do some research. I'm not going to show any of it because there's children in there. These people walking around half dressed. Have y'all seen what's the Christine Aguilera, whatever her name is? Have y'all seen that one? Don't watch it. Don't watch it. She's on stage for the whole sodomy thing, and she has a strap on. Do y'all know what that is? She has manhood. It's like a manhood hanging from her. That's all. I'm not gonna go into detail, but it's horrible. And they're all like in the crowd, yeah, just cheering it on. It's perverted. It's perverted. These people actually celebrate sin. They're actually celebrating the stuff that they're doing today, how they're pushing kids. And there's one video where this kid is at this sodomite parade, and the kid is like trying to get away. And the parent is pushing the kid there, forcing the kid to look at the crap. Ooh wee. You know, they say there's a special place in hell for people that do children this way. There's a special place. And I don't understand why they continue to allow this nonsense to happen. They continue to push this craziness. They continue to push it. And all I'm doing is my job, exposing it. Ephesians 5:11. Do not take part in unfruitful darkness. Instead, expose it. I'm just doing my part. We all have a part in this. We all have a part in what we're doing on this planet. Do we get to say that we just went along with everything, or do we get to say that I tried to do the will of our Father? Good night.